Hi guys, and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon tutorial video with me, Bubblebox, and today we're going to start having a look at the naval units, and in this particular video at the basics of naval management, and in the next video we'll start having a look at the individual units and their stats. So as far as Navy is concerned, well, the naval support category in Wargame Red Dragon includes, of course, ships such as these Oliver Hazard Perrys for Bluefort down here, planes such as these Super Hornets which are flying above our fleet just here, helicopters, for example these Super Pumas just at the back of our OHPs just here, and of course not forgetting the anti-ship artillery which are on the coast just here, and the landing troops which come in their own little landing boats just here in front of our fleet, and of course you can get landing troops which come in their own amphibious vehicles as well. Now all of the naval support or the naval support category ships and landing troops, and I believe the helicopters as well, initially come in and enter via this hashed blue and black arrow here, which is marked C for sea route. You do of course need to own a sector with this arrow attached to it in order to bring in your naval units, and we have got a Lynx chopper on this one just so that we've got control of Foxtrot so we can bring in these units here. Now the anti-ship missiles actually come in on the land route, so you do need to control a land route to bring your anti-ship artillery units in, and the aeroplanes of course will enter the map along the air route, so you do need to have control of an air route, the blue arrow here, in order to bring your anti-ship warfare aeroplanes into the map. So that's all the different types of units we're going to have a look at, and the areas that you need to control in order to bring those units in. Boats and ships can be divided into three broad types. First of all, you've got your deep sea, and if you want to see which type they are, if you get up the statistics panel by just clicking on this lower section here in the middle of the screen, you can see a sailing section and it will say deep sea. And the deep sea units can go anywhere where there is deep blue water, which is pretty much all of this area here. And then we have the coastal, and if again you look at the stats, it'll say coaster under the sailing. Why it says coaster and not coastal, I'm not quite sure. For example, these Baikus here, and with these you can go anywhere that the deep sea ships can go, so anywhere in this deep blue area. You can also go in this light blue shaded area, also the light blue shaded area around the islands and along the coast, and you can go right up to, but you can't go underneath the bridges on the river. And the third type are these guys, your riverines, and again if you look under the sailing it will say river, and these guys can go anywhere in the deep blue parts, anywhere on the coast, but they can also go underneath bridges and go all the way along the coast to wherever you require them all the way along the rivers to wherever you require them on the map, and can be used for infantry support and such like. The ships in Wargame Red Dragon tend to be divided into four main roles: coastal support, command, escort and supply. Now, I'm not going to go through the individual ships, I'm going to go through them in the next video, but I'm going to just briefly tell you what each of these things is. First of all, the coastal support vessels. The coastal support vessels tend to be riverines, and they're used generally for ground support for your ground units, also as floating artillery pieces as well. Then we've got the big and imposing command vessels. These are generally frigates and destroyers, and are equipped with very powerful weapons and have a great number of life points as well, and of course they are command ships. They can also capture those essential sea zones if you require those captured as well. Then we've got the escort vessels. The escort vessels tend to mostly be coastal vessels, plus a couple of Red 4 riverines as well, and these are generally specialised in a particular role such as anti-aircraft defence, and again might be floating artillery pieces as well. Last but not least, we have the supply vessel. These are not armed and supply, but do supply a great deal of logistics for your fleet as and when you need it. The ships are imposing platforms that carry powerful weapon systems, and we'll have a brief look at the types of weapon that these big ships, or all of the ships, carry. First of all, have a look at the anti-ship missiles. These carry the ship feature. These are massive missiles and they're capable of inflicting serious damage even to the largest ships. However, they cannot engage riverines or land targets. Anti-ship missiles can also be fired from specialised planes or helicopters available in the naval support category. We'll have a look at those briefly in a moment. These missiles are quite costly in terms of ammo and do reload quite slowly. Ships also have other powerful weapons such as the bow guns or cannons and the ship-to-air missiles as well, and some of them also have rocket launchers. The bow guns or cannons offer heavy firing power that stresses enemy ships and can destroy them in large numbers. If enough of these bow guns are firing at the same time on large ships, you can destroy those large ships with your bow guns as well. Some ships are equipped with anti-missile systems designated by this DEF feature here. Such systems enable ships to engage the enemy anti-ship missiles and to destroy them actually in flight while they're coming at your particular ship, thus creating a kind of shield for themselves and also for any ships that are nearby to the ship with a good DEF as well. The DEF is sort of also shown at the bottom of the stats by the CIWS, close-in weapon system. This close-in weapon system is automated, doesn't require any microing at all, and these weapons will engage the enemy missiles without any prompting from the player at all. The higher the CIWS value, the higher the number of missiles necessary to overwhelm the defences. The largest ships are more resilient and have more armour, both fore and aft, and a little bit on the sides as well. But also beware that if your ship is hit aft at the back, and this mobility can sometimes be severely affected, which could prove fatal if the ships want to actually retreat. So always think twice if you're thinking about turning your ship around and running away from a battle if it's getting damaged. You need to weigh up whether that ship is going to get away or whether it's going to be hit and destroyed while it's trying to retreat. Anti-ship planes can be both a powerful and a reactive strike force with their own anti-ship missiles which they can fire at range, but they can't detect small ships very well, and in particular the very small boats, so good recon is essential when using these powerful weapons. The anti-ship helicopters also have their own anti-ship warfare missiles which they can also fire at range. The good thing about these as well is that generally they have very good or excellent optics, so they can be used for recon over the sea areas as well. They are however very vulnerable to aeroplanes, so you will need to keep these guys nice and protected by having some sort of air superiority at least over your units. So that's about it. This is just a very brief introduction to naval warfare in Wargame Red Dragon. I'll be having a look in the next couple of videos at the individual units for the blue 4 and for the red 4 sides, and then I'll be finishing off this series by having a look at my top 10 tips for when using the naval warfare unit. So please do comment, like and subscribe if you would like, and I'll see you in the next video.